Got my eyes on the prize, I follow through. I'm unstoppable.
Welcome to Charmingly Toxic, where Prosecco meets psychology. And we're not diagnosing, but we are side-eyeing the charm, control, and emotional chaos. I'm Denise Caperso, licensed therapist and trauma specialist, here to unpack the toxic tropes from reality TV to real life with insight, humor, and zero judgment. Grab your glass and let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to Charmingly Toxic. Today I have my good friend Rachel on. Rachel and I met, I want to say like 13 or 14 years ago when we were working together at a nonprofit. She is just as invested in the Murdaughs as I am, and she's been watching the Hulu miniseries. Today we're going to talk about episodes 1 through 4, and I want to get all of her feedback. I mean, I remember watching all of this documentary and stuff like that was happening during COVID, right?
I think it started during COVID. Yeah.
So I've watched everything out there. Rachel, you've watched everything out there and read everything out there.
A lot of it, at least. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So episode 1, I'm so excited. I'm so mad. First of all, I was like watching it and they're like, okay. And it kept going to the next episode. And then after episode 4, it stopped. And then I was like, they're only going to release 1 per week. That was killing me. It's still killing me.
Can't binge it.
They should at least drop the last 4 at the same time because this is going to be painful. So episode 1 is called Family Tradition. And this episode really, I think, lays out the family dynamics and sets us up and introduces us to the family. So there's Alex, the father, who they also call Alec, correct?
Yeah. It's weird, but yeah.
So sometimes Alex, sometimes Alec. Maggie, the mom. Paul, the younger son, who seems to be the family scapegoat. And then Buster, who seems to be the golden child. Is his name really Buster?
I think he's named after the dad, like Randolph, I think, but they just call him Buster. I don't think that's his real name.
Okay.
I think. Not 100% there.
And we also get introduced to Randolph in this episode. And so we kind of see through the episode that Randolph is really the head of the family. Like, this is like a criminal family where it's kind of mafia-esque.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they do what he says, totally.
So it starts off with the 911 call after Alec shoots his wife and child. And he reenacts that 911 call, the actor Jason Clarke, so well that from like the first minute, I was like, this is going to be amazing because he sounds like him, looks like him. It was really chilling.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a great actor, for sure. Exactly like him.
They kind of give this intro that they're this legal dynasty. And they keep calling him the Randolph, the solicitor. What does that mean? I read it means like he's the DA or something.
Yeah, I think that's what they call the DA in South Carolina where they are. So in that county, which is tiny and poor, he's the DA. Like, I mean, it's generations of them have been the solicitor of that county, it sounds like.
So Randolph owns a law firm where his sons practice law.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
The other son, the one that's older than Alec, but do the other sons practice law too? I don't know much about them.
The oldest one is like the managing partner in the firm, and then Alec is a partner but not in charge. So that's all a whole family thing.
And so Alec is a personal injury attorney?
Yes. So he's getting all these settlements and filing disability claims and that sort of thing, which I guess that whole area of South Carolina, that's pretty prevalent.
But Randolph is a criminal attorney?
I think that he was just like the guy. I mean, there aren't that many attorneys total in that area. So I think all of them kind of practice in all areas. But that firm primarily did personal injury and disability claims, but he was a prosecutor or like the head prosecutor.
So you said this is a pretty poor county. So this family is vastly rich compared to everybody else. Are there other wealthy people in the county?
I think for sure they are top tier wealth. I mean, that whole area of South Carolina is pretty poor from what I've read. In terms of like college education, very few have been to college or anything like that. So I think they are pretty elite in their area.
Okay, so kind of the whole town in episode 1, they kind of see how the whole town sort of reveres them in a way, and that they have a lot of connections at the state level, and everybody kind of knows that. I think they even say like The Murdaughs are the law. They are the police. They have a hand in everything.
Yeah.
Then they show Maggie, and I really want to, during the recap of this, I really want to highlight Maggie's kind of experience. They show her living this wonderful life, full of blessings, as she would say. She's a stay-at-home mom, doesn't work, has never worked, it sounds like, since they got married, and also has a live-in housekeeper slash nanny.
She had a shop once. I think she had a little shop. So she had that going. But yeah, no, she seems pretty good.
So in episode 1, they kind of show her just being around and being the loving, nurturing wife and mother. But from the get-go, they show Alec kind of gambling, cheating, right from the start, hunting. Right from the start, they set the stage with Paul being really reckless, obnoxious, just drinking, get away with everything. I mean, the mom lets it slide, the dad lets it slide, the housekeeper lets it slide. And we see the housekeeper, Gloria. She's introduced as well, and she really runs the household. Like, she does everything.
Totally. Yeah. They have her doing everything. Yeah. Everything. And she gladly does it, it seems like.
Yeah, she seems like next to saintly. And then as the episodes go on, we see that she is really very poor.
Yeah. She's struggling like in every area, health and financial, everything. Yeah.
It struck me because I've watched the thing, like each episode, like 3 times now. And so I missed a lot the first go around. But you would think that if this family had so much money, they would be paying this woman so much more than they seem to be. Like, it looks like she lives in a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they were compared to other people, or maybe, I don't know, but it's odd. I mean, and it's sad because they treat her like family, but not also.
Right. And it seems like she did raise the younger boy.
Oh, I'm sure she did. I mean, it's, yeah. Or maybe both of them, probably.
So what the hell was mom doing this whole time?
Probably whatever she wants, opening that boutique or whatever else she wants to do, I guess.
I mean, is
I
there
assume.
like a junior league there or something? Like, is she running charities?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's a pretty small place, so I doubt there's a junior league, but whatever there is, the equivalent, I would assume she's in it. But I don't know. I was surprised that they don't talk more about like church or something, because that area, I would think they would be all in on church. But Gloria, the housekeeper, goes.
Gloria was very religious, but they must have been connected to church officials too. But that was kept running through my mind. Like, besides like cutting wildflowers down, like, what does this woman do all day? I have no idea.
Plans parties, I guess.
Gloria is like the workhorse of the family. So in episode 1, they show Alec at a court hearing, and he says this line, which is kind of really foreshadowing the rest of the miniseries, where he says to the jury, he quotes his grandfather and says, "Son, just because you don't want to pay a bill doesn't mean it ain't due." And I thought, wow, like, through all the next 3 episodes that we're going to talk about, he's just running from bills constantly that he can't pay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's coming. I mean, everything's coming for him, but yeah.
So when this starts out, when we start viewing it, so it's like the year of the crash. I don't know what year it is, 2016 or something. I don't know, 2019.
Yeah. I don't know offhand. Yeah. It was a little while before it went to trial and everything. So yeah, a couple of years probably before.
So we think he has already built this Ponzi scheme of like taking money from one client.
I think he had to have just something I read. He had like a $50,000 a week drug habit. I mean, he's taking $50,000 a week in pills. So he would have to be getting money somewhere.
If this is Randolph's firm, how the hell does he not know that this is happening? Or he knows and he doesn't care?
I mean, I don't know. I wonder if it sounded like he had some kind of savings account for some of the settlement money that he was the signer on, or the only person that could see it. And I guess they just took his word. If it's like your son, you're not going to be like, let me see the statements. So I think that he was able to get by with a lot just based on being the son, I don't know.
Randolph comes off as like pretty shrewd, pretty calculated, way more on top of his game than Alec, who kind of seems very impulsive and reckless. So I'm thinking, how did this guy not know all this was going down?
I think he must have known to some degree. I think, because I think wasn't it well known that he had this drug problem? So he had to have known that there's a possibility, maybe just didn't want to deal with it. Or, I mean, just the fact that like later on, they're talking about settlement money and this and that. And it seems clear that the dad has no clue that his son is totally broke and, has no way to pay this money. I don't know. Just seems, they seem like majorly in denial, everybody in this whole thing.
So not only then the people that they deal with at the state level or at the bank or whoever they have the relationship with, these people know that they're being manipulated by a particular Murdaugh, but they also know that the other Murdaughs don't know everyone's story. So everyone's keeping a lot of secrets.
Yeah, big time. It's just all these strings being pulled behind the scenes that nobody knows fully what's happening, I guess. And I guess people that gave him money would just be like, well, his family, if they're good for it, that family has a ton of money. So I guess they just assumed. I don't know.
So
It's wild.
I'm looking at it a little bit closer, from the work that I do, working with people who have experienced narcissist abuse. So, okay, we know Randolph is a narcissist, maybe even a psychopath. I mean, he's so strategic.
Oh, yeah.
So then you have kids. Randolph has kids. And so the kids usually of a narcissist are either narcissists or have a lot of narcissistic traits or they're empaths. So if we look at Alec's kids, Buster and Paul, and Paul seems to be the one picking up all the narcissistic traits. Do you think Buster is an empath? Is that what like the show was trying to make
I
it
mean, I
look?
guess so. He goes and checks on him and he's like worried about him. I mean, he's an ass about it, but he still like seems legitimately worried and tries to talk to him about like how he's feeling about the fishing trip, this and that. I mean, there's all these things. He seems legitimately like a caring person to some degree.
Yeah, I wonder because hopefully we'll get into it in the next 4 episodes, but they have this whole thing implicating him in Stephen Smith's death. And so I'm wondering, was he an empath that was really easily manipulated by his friends, to do things he wouldn't typically do? Or was he also a narcissist that really had no empathy, didn't really care about other people at all?
Yeah, it could go either way. Because then he got kicked out of law school for plagiarizing. I mean, he didn't graduate from law school. He was kicked out for misconduct of some sort. I don't know what, but it's not like he's some angel.
No, but he did seem more like, I want to people please. I want to kiss my dad's ass. I'm going to just do whatever he says. Where Paul's like, I just don't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah, he seemed like he was trying to like act right, not completely antisocial. But Paul seems real bad. I mean, just like an ass.
Yeah. So like we said in episode 1, they introduced that Alec abuses alcohol, pills, and Maggie kind of puts her head in the sand. And they kind of let Paul just drink in reckless amounts. They don't try to rein him in. And at this point, is he 21?
No, he's in high school. They're in high school when that boat crash happened. So
I couldn't
aren't they
tell.
like seniors in high school?
Maybe.
None of them were old enough, I don't think.
Yeah, they didn't seem to care. They were like, yeah, drink more. Who cares? During the whole, episodes that we've seen, encouraging the drinking and just kind of brushing it aside.
Yeah. And he's already gotten in trouble multiple times for it. And they're like, hey, you want a beer? Like, what? I don't know.
Take this in the truck with you. Have a great
Yeah,
ride.
take this car.
Drive all your
Yeah.
friends around in this tiny boat. No problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To go to a party at night. Good. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like though Maggie and Alec are, well, Alec obviously is a drinker, but it seems like she's a drinker too. A small town, maybe everyone drinks and drives and no one really cares.
Nothing to do. I think that's probably kind of common.
Right.
I don't know.
We also get introduced in episode 1 to cousin Eddie, who is the criminal.
It's the drug dealer guy. Yeah.
Drug dealer, doing everything on the down low. And then what is this jellyfish business? Like what?
They were just illegally harvesting jellyfish somewhere in a warehouse. I mean, like they have all kinds of bullshit going. It seems like just like everything
Yeah, that was
possible,
crazy.
weird and illegal. They're doing it.
But I think it was a
I don't know.
good scene episode where you see Alec trying to really massage this relationship with the permit guy, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's like a total schmoozer. He's like talking about the governor and all this other stuff. And yeah, he's gonna get him to be the head of the department or whatever.
Department of Natural Resources conservation officer. So he's totally like, let me do what I want. And the guy's like, no. And he said, okay. And then he introduces him to higher people than him,
Hmm.
and so he can kind of get his way.
And like talks him up. I mean, I think that's what's interesting to me about Alec. He's like really likable, builds people up to get his way, which is scary,
Right.
but
Very charming.
very effective.
And totally a guy's guy too, you know.
Oh yeah.
The whole takeaway from episode 1 is I feel bad for all of them because there's no way you can even get out of this family if you wanted to. Everybody has their role, everybody has to play their part. You couldn't leave or not be a part of that family. There was so much control that Randolph and Alec have over all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, later on, it's crazy the kind of stuff they do to maintain control over people. You know, Randolph's wife. I mean, all that comes out later. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
So, what do you think their expectations are for Paul? Because it seems like they don't have any. Like, yeah, you could just fuck around and be reckless. Like, we don't care. Like, we don't hold you to any standard because Buster's gonna be the shining star.
Just carry the whole family. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I maybe, or they're just like, you can fuck around, just don't get caught and stop embarrassing us. I don't know. They don't seem to have any. They don't want him to go to prison because they're scared for him, but they don't have any kind of. There's no hope for him. It doesn't seem like there's any kind of.
Right.
I don't know that he sucks. They're putting him down constantly. It seems like.
Yeah. I was like, this kid's self-esteem, he must have none because pretty much like you're the throwaway child. Like, we don't even need you to do anything because Buster's going to take care of everything. So, you know, like you
Yeah.
said, you can be a fuck up. Just don't embarrass us because we have no expectations of you whatsoever. They didn't even talk about college with him.
Yeah. No, they didn't talk about anything. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and it seems like Alec was that way compared to his older brother, from what the background's a little bit of the background, but they still kind of had him go to law school. I mean, he still had a life, but they seem to be like, Paul sucks. Like, just go to your room, play video game, like whatever. Like, I don't know. It's sad.
I did see the similarity between Alec and Paul because it's clear that the older brother was the shining star to Randolph, and Alec was kind of this fucking irresponsible, impulsive person that he couldn't, you know, calm down. Now, in terms of like statuses of lawyers, where does a personal injury lawyer fall?
I don't know. Some people would say they're,
Bottom of the barrel?
but they make the most money. I mean, I think a lot of times just because they have these huge settlements. So I don't know I'm not sure what their status would be. It sounds like their family. I mean, they had the solicitor position and then plus the firm. So they were pretty solid, and just, I don't know what kind of law, what kind of cases they even had out there other than just like disability, So I think I was reading, I guess there's a big interstate that goes out there. So like there's a lot of trucking accidents and stuff. So they file all these a lot more personal injury cases are filed in that county because I guess judges are nicer, or I don't know, more, they know them, I guess. I don't know. So that firm had been like the go-to personal injury firm for South Carolina for a long time. So I think they're just very wealthy. And then they had other,
Do they need a big skill set? Like are they extremely talented attorneys or is it pretty
I would think, I mean, it's mainly, I don't know full on at all, but I think it seems really relational because you have to connect with your, whatever client is, dealing with this. And if you can get people to trust you, then you've got a lot of clients in that area, more so than other stuff where you'd have to, know about tax law or whatever else. It's mainly just connecting with whoever comes to your office and, you know, having them trust you. And he seems very likable, somebody you can trust. Obviously, people trusted him big time. He's speaking the language of everybody out there. I mean, when he quoted the Bible and all that, like all that, I was like, "Oh, this guy."
quoting the Bible? Yeah, he was good at that.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
want to say that I keep asking Rachel all these attorney questions because her husband's an attorney and her mother's an attorney. Like I'm acting like she's some like huge knowledge base on
I am
every
not. I just
possible
secondhand.
kind of attorney.
I have no, yeah,
But
just
you
a
know more than
secondhand.
me. So we moved to episode 2, and episode 2 is kind of setting like this backdrop of Alec has never had to be accountable for anything in his entire life and is able to manipulate situations. His father was able to manipulate situations for him, and he's done it for his kids. And so we get this flashback of Alec in college where he and his friends are supposedly getting arrested for reckless driving or horsing around. And Alec gets totally out of the situation scot-free. He doesn't have to do anything. They're just like, oh, you're a Murdaugh. You're good to go. No problem.
And his friends get just left. I mean,
Yeah, he's like, "See ya, deuces."
Yeah. Like like crazy.
He did say later, though, that he helped get the guy that was driving off.
You got him out of it. Like,
Yeah, because that guy, his son is friends with one of Paul's sons that was in the accident. So
okay.
part 2 or, episode 2 is all about the accident. Luckily for me, we didn't really see a lot of the accident because, I've seen in other documentaries it's just so traumatizing. It's
Yeah.
so awful to even conceptualize what happened with them going that fast in the dark. That was the other thing I didn't realize was that there was no lights. Like, the kids were just holding flashlights in front of them. It's pitch black.
Yeah. Like boats don't have headlights. So you're just like, yeah, that's great. It
That
had to
was
be terrifying.
terrifying, and so he was so drunk, he was doing donuts. The kids were all pissed, really angry with him. They said his alter ego, Timmy, comes out when he drinks that much. And so what we do see in episode 2 is Randolph and Alec, after the accident, come to the hospital and try to manipulate everybody to get on the same page. And the way that he goes about it is so interesting to me because he starts by shaming all of the kids and shaming the parents, right?
Hmm.
We all let our kids drink and drive. We all have done it ourselves. Um, and I thought, wow, that's a master plan in getting people under your thumb. Scares them to prison.
Yeah. Immediately. I mean, they're still in the hospital. He has that meeting. It's crazy.
I know. And so he makes it seem like they all have the same amount of accountability, even though Paul was driving,
And it's his vote.
right? Like, our kids could go to prison. And
Hmm.
you see the terror on the parents' faces. I was like, this guy's a master manipulator.
Yeah. And he sets it up like we're all in this together and I can get us out of it because I know how to handle all this. I'll handle it. So just let me handle it.
Just defer to him like, okay.
But most of them probably didn't go to college. They don't have, they just live in this small town and he's done favors for them. I mean, they all trust him and respect him and think he's, this expert professional guy. No one,
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, especially that hospital meeting where all the kids are like still bandaged up and the parents are there. The girls, they're still looking for the girl. And he's like basically just gathering them all to tell them to be quiet and not cooperate.
And they're all in shock. So they're not thinking straight, And so if you're not thinking straight and someone comes in and tells you what to do, they're just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. Yeah. Yeah. But the audacity to do that, I think, to just when kids are hurt and you're on your boat, you had them drinking at your house, and then to bring everybody together and say that be quiet, I'll handle it, and that go over, it just shows how much power he had in his community. It just kind of mind boggling.
And it didn't even seem like at that point they were afraid of him. They just trusted him completely.
Yeah, I think they totally. I mean, yeah, I think they definitely trusted him. Yeah, it's weird because then later they talk about that family being dangerous and you can't mess with them, and you know, so powerful. But in most interactions, it seems like they really trust him at least and like him.
Or there's this belief that he's so much smarter than us.
So much smarter, so much richer, and they just
Mhm.
have him handle it. Yeah.
So, the whole manipulates everything from, I think Mallory's parents can't even access the crime scene.
That was horrible.
He and his wife can. I was like, "What is happening here?" They won't let
Yeah.
Paul go to the scene at all. That kid, at least in the depiction, he's struggling, Paul. Like, he wants to go down there. These are his friends. And
Hmm.
this is when we see Alex's rage of like, "You will not." And it kind of explodes in anger.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt bad for Maggie in that sense because it's like she shows up and they just lead her to the boat. And that scene, it didn't seem like she was even aware that, okay, they didn't let the missing girl's parents go. And now they're letting you. And you just look like a complete jerk in this situation, but you're just totally unaware of your privilege here. And it's not
Exactly.
so much of it, they just seem completely out of it about like, okay, people are hating you right now. Like you are really out of line and like they just seem completely clueless. I mean, like her when she's part of the meal train and like she just continues to be she just seems very clueless that anybody would not like her. I think she just used to being liked for so long.
That's true. This kind of shock that they're being rejected by the other families. I mean, we see with her, like, all the empathy of relating to this other mom, Mallory's mom. Like, I cannot imagine. You can
No.
see her kind of feeling those feelings of
Yeah.
what this mother must be going through.
Yeah. Now she felt guilty being like thankful that it wasn't Paul, that he's here and he survived, like the guilt you would feel.
And then her next jump is, I can't see him in prison.
Yeah. Make it go away. Yeah.
Make it go away. So, we see these outbursts of Alec in the scene, and we know part of it is because of drug use, but he gets so mad. Like, do you think, and we see him shove Paul, in another episode, but do you think he ever hit Maggie? That was what's going through my head. Was there some domestic violence there?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. If he didn't, I'm sure she wasn't. She knew that would be a possibility, I would think. Crosses every single line. He's
Exactly.
not above hitting her or, whatever violence. I mean, he obviously isn't above violence. He killed her, shot her. So I would assume there has been glimpses of that.
I mean, if you just think about the homicide timeline, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but they are constantly, before they kill someone, they're constantly pushing these boundaries. And we do see, him screaming and throwing things and shoving his son. So I wouldn't be surprised. But you know what? She would never tell. She would never tell, and no one's
No,
there to tell that story.
no, I highly doubt she would ever have ever said. I mean, and even if she did, I kind of think her friends and family wouldn't tell either. They would be kind of, it's weird.
Right.
I think,
Who
I
could she
think
be
all that would
fighting?
be.
Because she
Maybe her
knows that
sister. I don't know.
maybe,
But
but
I don't know.
that Murdaugh would be like, you can never leave him. Like, so suck it up, sister.
Yeah, figure it out. And maybe that was her deal. Like she was like, I'm just going to go to this beach house and we'll just kind of live separately and that'll
Yeah.
work. And then
Yeah.
it didn't. I don't know. I felt very sad for her.
We get a glimpse too about how she dealt with his drug use. And we see at least that she said, okay, the first relapse was so bad and I don't want to do that again. So she thinks, if I dole out 2 pills a day,
That made me so sad. Like she thinks she's in control of this. She's not at all. Yeah.
I thought, okay, how dumb are you? Is
Right.
this pure denial? Like, just, I have to deny how bad this addiction really is. And I'm going to believe that 2 pills a day is going to be fine and he can withdraw by himself safely. I don't know.
I mean, I think that she's just in such denial about like her whole life. And maybe that's what it takes to normalize all that is to just not face it. But I think she legit thought like, okay, I'm gonna give him these two and just handle it together. I don't know. It's sad because she really thinks that they're in it together and they so are not at all. Like at all.
But I think in narcissistic families, when, there's a narcissist in charge, everybody's working constantly to make sure the narcissist is happy. So whatever we
Hmm.
have to do to keep him content so the rest of us don't suffer from his bad mood or bad reactions, like, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she did. Like, okay, I'll give you a little bit here because I don't want to deal with your outbursts and I don't want to deal with your withdrawal either.
Right. Yeah. But did she really think that he's not getting it somewhere else? I mean, he's taking $50,000 worth of pills a week. 2 a day is not cutting it. I mean, at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And so then at the end of episode 2, you see Alec go to the friend's house, Paul's friend's house, and the father is the one he helped out in
Hmm.
college. Said, hey, your son needs to take the fall for this.
Yeah. Just outright tells him. Yeah. Pretty much.
The guy seems stunned.
Hmm.
Like, how could you possibly ask me to do this? And Alec, so nonchalant, was like, dude, I helped you out. Like, I rubbed your back, you rubbed mine. Like,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah. Like you're talking about your son going to prison. But then I think he obviously thought it was handled because then Paul later's like, well, what's going to happen to Connor if he takes the fall?
And
Just,
also in this episode, we see Alec and his father, I think, contemplating, like, okay, best case scenario, body is not found. Then they can't, prosecute anybody. And I was like, this is sick. What is wrong? Like, no care whatsoever that this girl is dead in the water. And they grew
hmm
up with this girl. Like, this is her, these kids all grew up together. They're friends with the
yeah.
family. He does not give a fuck.
Yeah. I think that's what really jarring. I mean, it's such a tiny town. They all know each other really well. I mean, they grew up with each other, most of them, and like they know each other. So to be that callous is just ugh, ugh.
The other part of me too is thinking that Alec is carrying a lot of shame, which he always does with his father, of like, okay, here is my son fucking up again. Now we're really fucking up the family name. I need this to go
Hmm.
away. I can't be the family fuck up. I'm
Yeah,
trying to be managing partner here.
yeah. I want to beat my brother, but my son got this case against him. I thought it was interesting that conversation. He's like, "Well, you made it go away from me all the times I fucked up. You made it go away." And his dad's like, "You didn't make a no, a pretty young girl didn't disappear. At least
Right.
you didn't do that. So there's nothing we can do here."
Yeah. I can't
So
bring a body back.
yeah, someone's dead. Like it's not. But just like the lack of just realization, what a big deal it is. Like this girl died, and they're just kind of trying to, well, let's fix it. And like you can't. There's no fixing that. I don't know how they. Even Maggie and I mean, both of them, they just seem so, and maybe they're just so used to fixing all kinds of mess that they think that everything can be fixed.
So then we go to episode 3, right? Where they're like, okay, let's pretend it never happened. We're all going to the Bahamas. Jump in the car. Let's go.
That was the totally manic, don't you think? Like, what does he do? So
Crazy.
manic. Like
And he's like, I'm going to use settlement money from one of my cases and blow 7 grand on this vacation at Bahamar and just take,
70. It wasn't like $70,000. Yeah.
yeah.
And he signed like 68, whatever. Crazy money. And the settlement girl's calling the whole time. So he can't be enjoying himself. He's got to be,
I
I
think
mean,
he
maybe he
was. I
does,
don't
but
think
there.
he gives a shit. He's like, I'm going to, create this fantasy for all of us so that we don't have to feel the shit of this. Let's get the hell out of here. And everybody is struggling on that trip. I mean,
Oh my God. It's not fun. Can you imagine me on I thought about Buster's girlfriend. Can you imagine? Like that girl.
she really
Unbelievable.
got a dose of what this family is really like.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine staying the whole time.
So everyone's drunk on this vacation. They're encouraging drinking. Alec is acting like a complete ass in front of Buster's girlfriend. Maggie isn't any better. And Maggie's kind of
No,
like really feeling this girl out. Like, are you tough enough to be part of this family? Like, you got to be able to look the other way. You have to be able to,
like make
you
all
know.
these sacrifices for them so they can be the men
Mhm.
they can be or whatever.
And then she asks about their sex life.
Yeah, when that was the worst. Like, and then she's like, "Well, I was worried his eczema might be acting up, and if that would be affecting or whatever." She like, oh, God, I'd be like, "Get me out! That is insane." I mean, I can't think. And then, like, thankfully, like the spa person came, but yeah,
I was wondering if she was like trying to figure out if he was gay or not, like going back to the Stephen Smith story.
that would make some sense. Like, why would you ever bring that up? Yeah,
It's very weird. Very
super
weird.
weird. Yeah.
Or maybe, because we see in later episodes that Alec being kind of violent with one of the prostitutes. I don't know if he was actually ever sexually violent in the marriage. Maybe she's wondering her sons are also. I don't know.
I mean, when he's there on vacation and then he goes to that club and the young girl like kind of just tells him, "No thanks, you're the wrong foot," basically just rejects him. And then he comes back to their room and she's like kind of asleep, but not really. Like that was the grossest, saddest sex scene I've maybe probably ever seen. Like, ugh, like
Yeah.
it wasn't violent, but close enough. Like gross. What?
Yeah. He just doesn't, it's all about
Like
him
just
all the time.
completely inconsiderate. Like unbelievable. Yeah, that just and sad. Just sad.
I mean, I think the overall arc on this episode too was, okay, let's go on vacation and forget about this. But also, we're looking at Maggie kind of reflecting on her life and some regrets that she might have about, what she could have been, like kind of giving up her whole identity to be a wife and a mother. We see that when she
Mhm.
meets that other woman in the bar and
Yeah, yeah,
she pretends she has a different life. And then when she gets that Reiki treatment and the Reiki
yeah.
lady, what does she say to her?
She said we are all so vast, and I thought that was. I mean, it made me think about. And but then also she said some other empowering things to Maggie. But then I was wondering, like, if Maggie maybe that's why she made excuses for Alec is that she's thinking like, well, he sucks, but he's really good in these other areas, so make allowances or. I don't
No.
know.
She also said to her, you're in a cage. You've been in a cage that was never locked. You were always free." And I
Mhm.
thought, well, that's not true. I mean, she was in
Definitely
this
not.
marriage of coercion. She was never free. Like, she could
Mhm.
never have walked away. She would have had to die either however she died. That was the only way of getting out of this.
Yeah, he wouldn't have just let her go, for sure, no.
No, especially if they told the story to at Christmas time to Buster's girlfriend about Randolph's wife getting upset with him about cheating on her when the kid was little, and he wrote a obituary for her in the paper, and people thought she was dead,
Yeah.
and Maggie
They
says
were sending flowers, yeah.
yeah, Maggie says, "He said it was a joke, but I saw it as a warning, a threat, like, don't ever try to control me or stop me from doing what I wanna do with other women. You know, you'll be dead." Like,
Mhm.
and I
No, yeah, I thought when that part of the story came out, I'm like, okay, well, Randolph is clearly a psychopath. I mean, who calls in a fake obituary for someone and goes so far as to it's published, people are sending flowers, people think she's dead, she's not, and then that's not a joke. I mean, no, that's not a joke. That's crazy. That's scary
the
and
whole
crazy.
family reflects on it as a joke, and so I think Maggie is saying, like, "I took that as a serious warning when I came into this family, like,
Mhm.
you just accept whatever happens."
You're gonna have to look the other way. Yeah. But I also don't think that she really thought she was totally in danger because it seems like she really thought they were, I mean, he sucks and he's got this drug problem and all these things are happening, but she thought they were on the same team. Like we're going to get through this together and this is our family. Like I think that she legit thought
Well,
that he would be there for their family. And
what
I don't think she
happens
really thought it.
what happens in these marriages, right, is that the narcissist creates these fantasies that come true, right? This picture perfect expensive vacation. And
Mhm.
yes, look at my husband. He does love us. He does want to take care of us. And they buy into that picture and that was what keeps them in longer. It's not true love that he's showing for these people, but they interpret it as that. And so they get these little glimpses of what a great person Alec is or how, the community perceives him as this great man. And she just clings to that and kind of closes her eyes to the rest. And she always thinks he's going to be better. He has the potential to be better. I know he's going to quit these drugs. He'll stop doing it. This belief
Mhm.
in his potential to be a better person when in reality he's showing her every day, I'm the same shithead
He's a terrible person.
day, day
Right.
after day.
Yeah. But one thing that was weird, and I didn't know how to take this, he's just by himself in the pool at the vacation. And then, like, he helps that little boy. I mean, no one else is around, no one else sees it. He helps that boy jump in, and he's very kind to that random boy at the pool, like helping him, overcome his fear and jump into the pool. Which, why? I thought maybe they showed that to just show, okay, no one is completely bad. I mean, he's obviously a terrible bad guy, but you can always see glimpses of decency. I don't know. That was a weird scene, I thought.
I mean, usually that's performative, right? And so when the father comes and says, "Oh, you jumped in the
Oh, yeah.
pool," and he says, "A quick thanks," to Alec, and Alec's like, "Yeah," like trying to talk to him, and the guy walks away, and Alec's like, "Yeah, that was a performance I did to get some feedback that I'm a good father figure."
I mean, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
So then we see the whole Gloria accident, and I know in the timeline of this is not accurate, but did we ever find out what really happened, like how she fell? I mean, was it that there was a loose brick in the stair steps, or I know that they said for a while that the dogs knocked her over, or do you think she was killed on purpose?
No, I don't think she was killed on purpose, but I definitely think they definitely made money off it and didn't really care one way or the other that she was dead. She raised their boys forever.
No.
I mean, did everything for that family. And like, I thought the flashback, like the go between they're on vacation, like just messing around and being complete assholes. And then she's like at home in her trailer praying with her sweet sons and just worried about her blood pressure. That was really just heartbreaking.
And he's like, "Oh, Maggie got you a present and she got her some stupid snow globe."
Freaking snow globe? Who's getting? Yeah. Why would she want that from a place she's never been? Like, yeah, yeah, rude.
But from the beginning, when he approached those boys at the funeral, whether this is correct or not, whenever he approached them and said, "Okay, sue my insurance company," he's already thinking like, "I'm never giving them this money."
Yeah, he's such a calculated.
Pretends so well that you guys are part of the family. We're going to take care of you.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy that everybody can trust and everybody likes. And I think that's the part that's kind of jarring about him. You wouldn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming, I guess.
You know what? I was thinking, okay, so Rachel knows my husband, and shout out to Steve. I know you're going to listen to this. So my husband worked on Wall Street for a long time in New York. And so when we're watching this together, I'm having a visceral reaction of like, this guy is such a manipulative, dark human. And I'm like getting a pit in my stomach. And Steve's just like, yeah, that's how it is. Run of the mill. Like, it didn't
Yeah,
strike him at all. Like, he was just like, yeah, guys are like that. Yeah. People are manipulative scumbags. It's like, oh my God.
we don't want to know that.
Maybe your husband would have the same reaction. Me and you were like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch this with him. I probably shouldn't. He'd probably be like, oh, yeah. And people calling in favors all the time or whatever. But
Yeah. Okay. So then, so we move to episode 4, and poor Paul, he's having PTSD flashbacks. We see Alec trying to say he's only going to pay $500K for Mallory's death. Randolph's like, no, you're not. You're going to throw in another $1 million, just like the gas station and the bar. And Alec is pissed. I mean, I cannot even believe he thinks that you could just put money value on someone's life. He's just like, I'm not going to pay an extra $1 million. And the father's like, yes, you are. I couldn't believe that. But I think this episode, they were trying to build a lot of empathy for Paul and, his relationship with Gloria, who they called Go-Go. And I'm wondering how much of that is accurate. Paul did not stand a chance in this family. I mean, he really didn't. He was not parented. He had no repercussions to his actions. And so part of me in the episode was kind of seeing him as a victim, but then also remembering he's this obnoxious, entitled person. So I wondered, did he have the personality disorder? Was he just a product of bad genetics and bad parenting? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he didn't have a chance for many reasons, but definitely, I mean, there's times when he's likable, but overall, he doesn't do the right thing ever.
No.
Yeah, but you're right.
It's like he thinks, what would my dad want me to do, or how would my dad want me to act? But he is also very impulsive. I don't know. That's hard for me because I was feeling a little bit bad for him.
I mean, I felt bad for him. I guess when they're in that seafood restaurant on vacation. I mean, that's episode 3 when he's just like, "All of you want to act like everything's fine. I killed her, or I'm the reason she's dead, and that's who I am now." And that made me feel like, okay, this guy, this is sad, and he does have some sort of conscience here, and he's trying to deal with this horrible situation, but he has no support, and people just trying to act like nothing happened all the time. So, but otherwise, then he goes to see his girlfriend or whatever, and then he's just like such a jerk to her.
Right.
Like, you tracked her down, and now you're being so rude. What is your? I don't. He just seems very entitled. I don't think he has any clue.
So do you think the writers of the miniseries just took liberties and said, okay, we're going to build empathy for Paul? Or do you think Buster provided them with some details of the trip or different conversations they had where he said, my brother did have remorse, or he did feel and did have a lot of PTSD around this?
I don't know if Buster cooperated or has talked to anyone really about Paul, but the girl he kind of dated before was like, she and her parents kind of talked to the reporter, and she was like, he can be really sweet and wonderful. It's just when he's drinking and he can be awful. It seemed like she had some, I guess, like insight where he's concerned, like didn't think that he's like this awful guy, but there's good and bad there. So maybe she kind of put in a good word for him. I don't know. I mean, and he's dead, so nobody. I think that's part of it too.
If you do bad things over and over and your parents don't hold you accountable, right? The brain then knows I can do more bad stuff.
Yeah. And I think that's probably true for Alec too. I mean, if you do whatever you want and nothing happens, regardless, if you're inclined to be a bad person, you're definitely going to be a super bad person because there's no consequences. I mean, there weren't any significant consequences, certainly for Alec. And then, I mean, they were trying to get Paul out of it. I thought it was funny and interesting and kind of seemed very Southern for that Paul's attorney to be like, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna take care of this boy. We got you." Whatever. He's very kind and sweet and stuff. And then when he doesn't stand up for the judge, and he's like, "Stand the fuck up, boy!" Like he gets really mad. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what's real under there."
Exactly. Towards the end of the episode, we see, Alex losing control of his finances and then Maggie, her debit card not working, but yet he goes and buys all these expensive things for them for Christmas. He buys her a Mercedes. He buys the guy, were those like assault rifles? I don't know guns from guns, but is that what he bought?
Their AR. Yeah.
And just was like drunk and didn't care. Like, yeah, I'm going to take all this money. I think they were implying that it was the insurance money from Gloria's death and just spent
Mhm.
it all on my family.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Meanwhile, those two boys are getting like evicted from their home. Were they like, it was one special needs or were they both low IQ
I think
or?
they might have both been. I don't definitely. I think one was. I think I read, but maybe both. And I mean that's just awful. I mean, when I read all about that, I'm like, okay, this guy is terrible that he would let that happen to her family and not take care of. I mean, because he knew them too. I mean, he knew them from when they were babies. I mean, it's a tiny town.
And then I felt bad, like when Maggie saw them at the grocery store, the one guy working at the grocery store, and she gave him like $10. I was like,
Yeah, well,
lady, come on.
but I did think it was kind of telling. Like she's got her cash in a Ziploc bag, and like, what's she doing? I don't know.
That was so sad. So, and then at the end of this, we see that Maggie finds that he has more pills. I don't think she was surprised. I think she was more angry than surprised. And then we see Mandy. Is it Mandy, the reporter, showing Stephen's mom the pictures of his death? Okay, so briefly, we're kind of running out of time, but it was a hit and run. Supposedly, Buster was driving, maybe.
I think that they say it's a hit and run, but people say like he looked like he got beat up, or there was more like an assault, and doesn't make sense for a hit and run. And so I don't know,
I don't remember all the details of that, but they said he was assaulted and then they put the body to make it look like a hit and run, but it really wasn't.
like staged it, yeah.
God.
But they haven't ever charged anyone. I don't know. That whole thing is,
And he never got charged?
yeah, no one is in charge for that. He was mentioned, I think, in the case file as being possibly in a relationship with him or whatever, but I don't think nothing ever happened. He wasn't ever charged, and no one was.
In the next episode, they kind of get into that. I don't know if you watched episode 5. Were they in a relationship or were they not? And, the miniseries takes a stance on that. But I just wish I could binge watch the rest of this because it's so compelling. I'm so fascinated by this family. But I just think at the end of the day, I think everyone's a victim in that family.
Certainly the new people. I mean, yeah. And I guess everybody in that family, because they all just were raised to be who they are. But it seems like Alec and his dad, they're kind of predators somewhat.
You watched the 2020 that was on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they saying Alec went to prison for like the financial stuff too, right? But then also, or was it financial stuff or the murder?
He's convicted of both.
So he's appealing the murder charges?
Yes. For jury misconduct or something. I don't.
Why could this, like, narcissists can never admit guilt? They can never, ever, ever.
Yeah. He won't admit to that. But it's odd that he did admit to a lot of things that I'm kind of surprised. I guess he had to on the financial stuff. I don't think he'll ever admit to killing his wife and son, but no one, he did. No question to me. There's no question.
I mean, when you see the footage on 2020 of the court and him just crying and being like, I would never do that. And they're like, yes, you did. Like, there's clear evidence. I mean,
He's just so convincing and really likable, even knowing all the stuff.
why do you think he used 2 different guns to shoot them?
I think because he's smart. He wanted to act like, there's some ambush trying to cover his tracks. If he used one gun, they'd probably think there's one guy that did it.
See how dumb I am? I would.
I watch a lot of true crime, Denise. You got to watch a lot of true crime.
Well, you'll have to come back and recap the last episodes, but I think the cast is doing a phenomenal job.
They're awesome.
Really doing a
Agreed.
great job. And in the 2020 interview, they were saying how long it took them to prepare and really to get into these roles. Patricia was saying, like, she studied about narcissistic abuse and coercion. She really, really wanted to nail the part of Maggie. And I thought, she did a great job.
I agree. Do you think that she knew he was a narcissist or?
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes, with my clients too, it's like, what comes first? My clients have trouble distinguishing. Is the drug abuse making someone act like a narcissist, or are they a narcissist to start and you add in the substance abuse and then they just become 1,000 times worse? But it seems to me he had it in his DNA. He had it in his bloodline to be that way. And then you add in all the substance abuse and it was just off the rails. And I'm sure he was a horrible person to live with and constantly walking on eggshells around him.
I'm sure. Yeah. It had to be horrible.
you'll come back then and recap?
Sure. Love it.
Okay, so we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay. Thanks, Denise.
Next week, I'm back with Joanne, and we're recapping Salt Lake City. This episode, again, was epic on the boat below deck. It was so good, and I can't wait to catch up with her next week, and we're also going to talk about Wife Swap again. So I'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Charmingly Toxic with me, your host, Denise Capurso. Be sure to like, subscribe, and pass on to your fellow reality TV junkies. You can connect with me on Instagram at Denise_support coach and on Facebook at Denise Capurso Counseling and Coaching. This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. While I am a licensed therapist, I'm not diagnosing anyone for therapeutic purposes, and these are not my clients. Expect sarcasm, snark, and a few clinical insights woven in. I talk about toxic relationships, power dynamics, and emotional safety. But this is not therapy, treatment, or a substitute for professional care. If you're looking for support, please consult a qualified mental health provider. If you're here for validation, insight, and a little side eye, welcome.